They say never trust a skinny chef, but what does that mean? If you're not overweight, you don't know anything about good food or how to make it? Chefs have to give up a lot. Their weekends, seeing their friends and family is often, their stress levels are through the roof, all because of their dedication to making great food. Balance can go out the window. Matter of fact, I have an example for that. That was me 8 months ago. Balance didn't exist for me. And how can balance, especially in your diet, exist for somebody who works with food every single day? Kind of hard, right? After many easy to use excuses, that's when I realized you have to create balance. Saying never trust a skinny chef is a bullshit cliche. To me, it kind of creates a reason and excuse for people to not have balance. And honestly, it's more telling of what society thinks about balance. So why are we talking about this? Because I think a lot of people are struggling with this, and if I can find balance, so can you. Especially when it comes to health. And I'm gonna help you with that. A lot of people asked for this video and we weren't gonna do it, but we decided, you know what? Let's just do it. I'm gonna tell you what happened, and I'm gonna give you some of the recipes that helped me along the way that I came up with. Let me be completely honest here. I'm gonna be transparent for a second. Two things. Number one, I already noticed that I wanted to trim down, okay? I was getting comments like this, and my decision to trim down happened before these comments, but the comments definitely added a little fuel to the fire for sure. But if I'm being really honest, my whole thought process wasn't that much deeper than I wanna get shredded and I wanna get to 9% body fat. After trimming down for about 8 months, I started at 240 pounds. Now I'm at somewhere around 178, 175. And now I'm about 1 to 2% away from the body fat percentage goal that I set for myself in the beginning. Remember when I said earlier about the comments I was getting? Now look at the comments I'm getting. See that? Isn't that funny and ironic? A lot of people don't ever see the back end of what we look at all the time, but we see all the comments, and there's a whole lot of hypocrisy that people don't realize is going around. Sort of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. It doesn't bother me, but one thing I think people can learn about is, hey, guess what? Maybe just do what you want to do. But it did get me thinking about releasing this video. I'm gonna give you very detailed specifics on everything I did. But before I dive into that, let me just say something real quick. Everything I'm about to say can be distilled down into 2 key points. Number 1, identify whatever the goal is, commit to that. And number 2, and this is the most crucial part, you just gotta do the things you're supposed to do every day to get there. That's it. That's it. I know that that might sound a little overly simplified, and maybe you don't have the exact answers right now of what you need to do, but that's all you have to do. There's no secret. And this applies to everything in life. A goal you want to achieve, career-wise, or family relationship-wise, or body, anything. Now for the details of my training. 6 days a week, I do a full workout. Get up at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning. That's the only way I have time to do it because it takes a long time. It just does. I do 60 to 80 minutes of weight training depending on what weights I'm doing. I do push-pull legs, 3 days, 1 rest day, and then another push-pull legs, which is a different variation of the previous push-pull legs. And then I alternate that PPL back and forth. 3 days PPL 1, rest day, and then another PPL 2. Everybody's gonna need something different, right? The specific weight movements that you do are going to be different depending on where you need to build your body. You will have to observe your body and see what you need to do. Look up a push-pull legs workout program online. There's tons of them you can start with and play with. Once I'm done after my 60, 80 minutes, I do typically 40 minutes of cardio. My heart rate needs to be at 150 constantly throughout the entire workout minimum. And I'll usually do that on the Stairmaster, or I'll go do a run. This made one of the biggest differences of all time. No walking, legit cardio. Oh, I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do it either. I pushed it off for a long time. Once I started doing it, I started seeing results. Don't skip cardio. Trust me, trust me, trust me, it will be worth it. You can do it, I promise you. It's only 40 minutes. You probably scroll TikTok for longer than you'll be doing this cardio. If you're looking for a secret, that's the secret. Do not skip cardio. Do not skip your workouts. Do not negotiate with yourself. Skipping the work means skipping the progress. As long as you can do that and have commitment and rigidity to the diet plan, you will see success. Failure only happens when you deviate from that. And that's kind of like a beautiful thing if you think about it. It's reassuring to know something will happen as long as you don't deviate from the plan. Stick to the plan. Now, the other cornerstone, the diet. So the diet is, let's say, 50% of the equation, if you will. You need to have both rigidity on the workouts as well as the diet. Everybody's diet is gonna be different. I've lost tons of weight with a trainer and without a trainer. It's not a necessity to have one. I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. I had a trainer for this. They checked in with me once every 2 weeks to see what I was looking like, and if I needed to make any small adjustments, my protein would go up, my carbs might go down just a little bit, a couple grams here and there, and he made small adjustments over time. But you can easily look up your body weight and body composition and use an online calculator to determine where you should start with your macros, calories, protein, carbs, and fat. And you can start there and go up or down as needed. Just every 2 weeks, check in and see if you should bump those numbers up or down depending on your progress. But be patient. If you wanna know what I'm eating right now, my exact daily macros currently are 2,460 calories, 320 grams of protein, 60 grams of fat, and 160 grams of carbohydrates. Now, for some people, that's gonna be too much. For others, it might be too little. Really depends on your body. So I'm not saying you should copy what I'm doing. I'm just saying that's what I'm currently currently eating. And that's the diet. The last thing that there really is, I mean, those are the only two things that really matter the most, but I do take a few supplements, and this is what I take. 1, omega-3 fish pill, vitamin C pills, beef liver pills, vitamin D, a men's multivitamin, and then as I started getting leaner, I started taking about 7 grams of creatine and 10 grams of L-glutamine every day with my protein shakes. I put it in my protein shake and would split it between 2 shakes because it tastes disgusting. And for all the tastings that I do on this channel, like, Josh, how are you supposed to manage only having 1 cheat meal every 14 days while also doing all this training and dieting when you gotta taste food on camera all the time? I guesstimated and put it in my macros. I probably over-guesstimated a little bit, but I still ate it. I can't. Somebody take this away from me. I'm on a diet. But let me be really clear here before I say anything else. I'm not saying that you need to do what I did, and I'm not advising anybody do any of the things that I did whatsoever. It's purely up to you how you choose to go about handling your own thing. You gotta decide what you want for yourself, not anybody else. So disclaimer. Last thing I'm gonna say, because I know a lot of people are gonna have questions, people are gonna say things like, what if I don't have time to do this? I have to go to work really early in the morning. That makes it really hard. It does make it hard. I'm not saying that people's excuses aren't necessarily valid. In order for me to work out 2 hours a day, I need to work at about 4:30. That was my way to change and balance that out, right? Go to bed earlier, get up earlier. So whatever it is that you need to do, whatever excuses that pop up in your head because you are gonna have challenges to get this done, you have to prioritize this and mold your life around it. Just be realistic about it and be chill about it and find your own personal balance. And the way to do that is, again, identify the goal, do the steps that are needed to get there, and then move things around in your life. Like, move yourself around. I have to work with food every day. I have food around me all the time. Just because you're eating on diet or eating a specific type of food or cutting out certain foods for a shorter period of time doesn't mean you can't sit down and make food that tastes great, that is quality and nice. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to throw a pat of butter on something and let it melt and eat that. Sure. But cooking properly comes from technique, not from just ingredients. That being said, let me give you 3 recipes, and these aren't all of them. I can have more, you let us know if you want more, that have helped get me through this, because you will have cravings and this will help solve them. Okay, so the burger. This is a high protein, low calorie friendly version of my favorite burger. This will make around 3 burgers out of 1.5 pounds of beef. More specifically, 96% lean ground beef. This actually popped off pretty decent on YouTube Shorts. Thank you for that. But I wanna dive a little deeper on it. So we're gonna start with the sauce, very basic. I want flavorful sauce and I want a little bit of creaminess, but I wanna keep the calories as low as possible, okay? There's a negligible amount of fat when you divide this amongst all the burgers. So for 3 burgers, you've got 1 tablespoon light mayo, tablespoon of yellow mustard, and 2 tablespoons of sriracha, not ketchup, trying to keep the carbs a little lower here. Mix together to combine, add a little salt, a little bit of pepper to taste, of course, obviously. Sauce done, that's how quick. Here's the key to keeping this low calorie. Do not use an oiled cooking surface. Use something non-stick or use a really well-seasoned carbon steel pan, like in this case. Highly recommended to use non-stick though. Oh, don't cook with high heat on non-stick. How about just be on diet? Anyway, each patty is 3 ounces, but you could go up to 4 ounces. Medium high heat, beef goes on. We're making smash patties. Take a smasher. You can use parchment to keep it from sticking to your smasher. Smash it flat. Got full contact with the surface, and on top of that, evenly displaced. It's gonna cook quickly. Season it with a seasoning of your choice. This is just like a garlic seasoning, whatever. You can also make your own seasoning. It's fine. We're trying to stay on diet here, okay? Switch up the seasoning, switch up the flavor. Sometimes I do salt and pepper, sometimes I do seasoning. This will cook fully in less than 2 minutes. You need to move quickly. I'll show you. You wanna flip this early. You see how there's a band of gray that's already about 60% of the way up through the burger. That means that we're close to cooking this all the way through. When I flip this, it will overcook very quickly. It doesn't have a lot of fat to hold on to. We wanna cook this hot and fast. So flip. I'd rather it be juicy than dry as boot leather, okay? This is 96% lean. It will go dry fast. Now that I've flipped it, immediately. 1 slice of cheese, please. American cheese. Oh, that's not healthy. Who gives a shit? It's macro friendly, but it's also lower fat. All right, I'm gonna place it over here to melt. Immediately, my next patty, press it out, season it. I'm gonna get my buns. I'm gonna lightly toast them with no butter, no nothing. Is it gonna get a perfect toast? No, you can put it in a toaster though, and it will. I don't have a toaster right now. This is great for meal prep because all the other ingredients you can make ahead and keep in the fridge. And then when you're cooking the patties, just cook as many as you want. Cook 6 of them, cook 12 of them, and keep them in your fridge. Reheat in the microwave with a slice of American cheese in between the two. Put them on the toasted buns with sauce and pickles and enjoy. You got lunch over and over and over. This burger is just about ready to flip. I'm gonna flip this guy too. Boom. Oh, a little better color on that. I can't complain. Buns are gonna go down. These patties are finishing, heat off. And we're gonna lightly sauce, about a teaspoon of sauce both sides. Patty on top of cheesy patty, just like that. 2 nice thick pickles. And then you take your burger, cheesy patty, take your bun, place on top. I mean, that looks like a burger if I've ever seen one. It's actually quite nice. It's juicy because I just barely cooked the patties. It's really hard to get a medium rare or even a medium smash patty, but with these, if you cook them fast enough, you'll get just slightly above medium and you'll still retain a lot of juice. When you try this, it's gonna be an epiphany moment because typically when you eat something that's on diet, You kind of know it's on diet, even if it tastes good. But this, my brain is going, that's a burger. That's a great burger. Tastes awesome. It's a little meatier than usual, but I still really like it. It's excellent for this being on diet, and that's nuts. But this isn't the only recipe. Moving on to the next tacos. These are gochujang charred fish tacos with a spicy chili salsa. We're gonna make this very simple, cod loin. This is average. You're gonna cut it into sort of batons, essentially pieces kind of like this. 2.5-inch rectangles. That's gonna get marinated in gochujang. That has a little bit of carbs. We did calculate that in the macros. That's right, I pay attention to that. Little sriracha, shirdashi, water, rice vinegar, ginger, grated, of course garlic, always garlic, and a generous pinch of salt. And you're just gonna whisk that together. It smells smoky, spicy. Add your fish in. Just toss till thoroughly coated. You can leave this in the fridge overnight if you like, or you can use it right away. It doesn't matter, but this is essentially a marinade. You can grill or broil. We're gonna do broil this time, but grilling is also awesome. If you're broiling, get a wire rack on a sheet tray, set out your pieces of fish. You could cook half and marinate the rest. All you need to know is about 5 to 6 ounces of fish is 1 serving. So this recipe will make around 3 to 4 servings. 1 serving is 4 tacos for these macros. Pop this fish, make sure it's 1 layer under the broiler of your oven until it's just cooked through. Now we can get the rest of our stuff set up. It's gonna take like 5 to 10 minutes. For the sauce, very, very simple. To me, this is kind of a non-negotiable, but everybody likes a little creamy green sauce with a taco. I feel like, although it's not necessarily traditional in many senses, it is delicious and it does make diet easier. So we have some charred jalapenos going in. This sauce can be used on literally anything. Chicken taco, steak taco. You could also just throw this on some grilled chicken and it's really good. 4 cloves of garlic. And then this is kind of a weird but secret ingredient, a 1/4 cup of a low-fat cottage cheese. Oh, cottage cheese, Josh, why? 2 reasons. Number 1, protein. But number 2, when you blend cottage cheese super fine, it kind of creates a creamy texture in the mouth without almost any fat at all. And it achieves creaminess like yogurt never could. Into the blender, salt to taste, a little bit of lemon or lime juice, about 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. You can go more if you want it more acidic. And then you're gonna blend that on high until as smooth as possible. Using water to loosen. Once that's relatively smooth, you're gonna stop for a second, add in a half bunch of cilantro, tablespoon or 2 of non-fat yogurt, so the yogurt's still going in. Blend on high again until smooth. It's a vibrant green, creamy, salty, it's acidic. Taste and adjust salt levels as needed. That's your sauce. The cabbage, you can do straight raw cabbage, thinly sliced, that's totally fine. You'll have even slightly, very slightly, less calories than this version, but if you wanna make a little bit more of a slaw, you take 2 tablespoons of light mayo, pop that in there, light mayo. You're not even gonna use all this. You're only gonna use about 1/4 or 1/3 of this anyway. You can also skip that. And like a tiny, tiny bit of your sauce. Don't season this with salt yet. You're gonna season it with Maldon just before you put it on. If you put salt on it now, it'll draw the water out and it'll get all gross. Toss it dry until nicely dressed. This has only been under the broiler for like 6 minutes. They're beautifully cooked, charred. They're just cooked through. Oh. Just cooked through. Just pretend that didn't happen, all right? There we go. We're ready to assemble a taco. So to heat up the tortillas, literally just pop them over a direct open flame, just until hot, and they've got a little bit of char. Piece of fish, another piece of fish. This is a loaded taco, and that's totally fine. A light drizzling of your sauce, a touch of slaw right over the top, and then just a little bit of flaky salt. That is your taco. You could add some fresh red onion, pickled onion, throw cotija if you have the room in your macros for it. Even not on diet, this is an excellent taco. So let's taste. I don't even know which one I want to eat. I mean, they all look so yummy. Cheers. There's something about these that every time I eat them, immediately I'm like, how is this that good? This should not be that good. This is a cheat code. And you could replace this fish with chicken, beef, lean pork, like a pork loin. If you cook the fish perfectly, it is so moist. It's tender, it's seasoned nicely, it's salty, it's a tiny bit sweet from the gochujang, spicy, umami. It's got all the flavors you want there. And then that nice, refreshing, crunchy cabbage, which has a little bit of creaminess to it, just ever so slight. And then you have that acidic, spicy, slightly creamy green sauce. It's herbaceous. This is what a taco is supposed to be. On to the final, but absolutely easiest recipe. Protein cereal bowl. I love cereal. I've found a way to keep it in my life. You can use any type of yogurt you want, but I would recommend some sort of a protein yogurt or a non-fat yogurt mixed with whey protein. Large bowl, minimum of a 5.3 ounce container of ratio protein yogurt. Goes down on one side, whey protein. It's a little sweet. I don't love it, but when you combine it with these ingredients, it's quite nice. 3 Wishes cinnamon cereal, 1 cup. You can also crush this up if you want to. Half a tablespoon of honey, drizzled on lightly. You're gonna do 1 to 2 strawberries, sliced or quartered, and then a few blueberries. I mean, look, realistically, any berry is fine. You got blueberries, great. You got raspberries, great. Put a berry in there. Fiber, it helps you poop. And then just a touch of fresh mint. That's it. And then you just mix this all together and eat it. I made it look nice. Most of the time I just throw the shit together in a bowl and I shovel it into my mouth. This is the best set of tasting tests I've ever done. I actually got to eat it and I'm on diet. Yeah. Immediately, I'm getting like a few different vibes at once. Vibe 1, I'm eating cereal with milk. Vibe 2, I'm eating a yogurt parfait. Vibe 3, it's sort of like a granola and fruit vibe. What more do you want? I will say, if you've never had this yogurt before, it's gonna be a little bit shocking flavor-wise. It's not great. The yogurt that you choose heavily impacts the flavor and the macros, so pay attention to that. But whatever you choose, this bowl will deliver. It's fruity, it's crunchy, you get a little bit of cinnamon from the Three Wishes cereal, which has got great macros and honestly surprisingly good for something made out of pea protein. That's not a sponsored ad or anything, so they owe us something. And then the fruit just freshens it up. A little bit of minty freshness, some tart, slightly sweet strawberry, the burst of a blueberry in your mouth. This is a fun bowl. But you wanna know what's even more fun? Not B-roll, actually, it's being on diet. So Josh, what are you gonna do now? What happens for the rest of your life? Are you dieting forever? No, of course not. I'm gonna find a new type of balance. If you want more balance in your life, all you have to do is define a goal and then do the required steps it is to create the outcome. That's really what this video is about. I just wanted to pass along what I learned through this journey. And guess what? The journey never ends. And one last thing, we see the comments, we know that you guys are missing the single recipes and we wanna bring them back. Ultimately, our whole goal is we wanna grow and extrapolate the content that we're doing on here. We don't just wanna do recipe videos forever in one place, but I do miss the recipe videos myself as well. And I've got good news for you. We are gonna be bringing the recipe videos back. I can't wait to share them with you. There's a whole plan to supply that for you, so that's coming soon. Just keep your eyes peeled. You won't miss that, but it's coming. Subscribe, bye, love you.